Welcome to Promote, Profit, Publish. I'm your host, Juliette Clark. And as we have been for the last couple weeks, we are interviewing our 2024 contributors for Breakthrough Author Magazine. And if you don't have your free subscription already, you can run over to breakthroughauthormagazine.com and grab your free subscription. It drops into your mailbox the first of every month. Today's guest is AmondaRose Igoe, and she's the speaking success strategist, an award-winning speaker, expert, and best-selling author. She's taught thousands of step-by-step speaker training systems, and these speakers are able to masterfully book speaking engagements, magnetize their audience, monetize their message, and make an impact. She's been featured on CBS, NBC, Fox, and the #1 best-selling book series, Chicken Soup for the Soul. AmondaRose is the author of Pain-Free Public Speaking and Share Your Story. The power of what AmondaRose teaches has helped her clients from over 20 countries overcome their biggest speaking challenges and skyrocket their presentation results. So I'm really excited to have AmondaRose today. I have known her for quite a while now from CEO Space, and I hope you guys will go over and grab the magazine, because our goal in 2024 is to ditch the middleman and give you guys strategies to bypass the book distribution fees. And speaking is one of the great ways to do that. So stand by for our interview with AmondaRose. AmondaRose, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you.
Super excited to be here, Juliette.
So you guys probably don't know this, but AmondaRose and I met many years ago now at CEO Space, and we actually are bringing her onto the magazine in 2024 because our theme is ditching the middleman, strategies to bypass the book distributor fees. And nowhere is a better place to sell than when you're actually out speaking, because you get to ditch those fees, sign the books, connect with people, and actually start to build a relationship. So, AmondaRose, how did you get into this? You've been doing this for quite a while now.
Yeah, it's actually this month, 18 years. And I will tell you, Juliette, and your listeners, that I never saw myself as a speaker, trainer, and coach as something that I would do in my lifetime. I was a social worker. And over 25 years ago, I took a job with a nonprofit, and they didn't tell me I'd have to speak in front of hundreds of people. I had no speaking experience, none whatsoever. I was a horrible communicator, odds and ends, nervous laughter. But when I started to get into it and learn the art of speaking, it was the first time in my life I was home. Like I was home in my career. Like I knew that this was what I was here to do. I had fun creating interesting and unique content, and I got accolades from the company, and I was ready to quit the job when they told me I had to do this. I was like, I'm not supposed to do this. This isn't what I'm here to do. And it opened up a whole new path. And then, so 18 years ago, I walked away from that job and started my own business.
That is so cool. And I similar. I was in advertising, and I was like, what? I have to pitch? So it was, same thing. And I don't know if I've ever told you this, the first probably 6 months, because I was out giving talks and pitching to clients, I wore readers because I could look around the room, but I didn't have that scary seeing them actually look back. They were blurry. But and then one day I forgot my readers, and it went very smoothly, and I was like, oh, I don't need those anymore. But I don't think anybody ever knew that I was wearing them because I was scared.
So you were wearing them so the audience looked blurry to you? Is that?
Yes.
I'm going to borrow that one for some of my clients.
I did. I was very conscious of, okay, I have to look in different directions because you don't want to, you need to engage. But yeah, I was afraid. And they were smaller audiences back then because you're pitching a client. So it's maybe a half a dozen people in the room, but there are also those people that are part of your agency, and you're like, oh God, I don't want to make an ass out of myself. So I'll just hide.
I think this is a great example to people who are listening, because authors sometimes can be very private, right? And they like to write, they like to spend time alone, they like to read. And here we are, two very outgoing people who had the same challenges that many authors have, and not being comfortable in those situations. And so it just shows you we could do it. they all can do it too.
Exactly. And I don't know if they still make you, but in college, you were required to take a public speaking class, and I don't remember anything from it. I don't think it wasn't like preparing a sales pitch like we do when we have a book or an expertise. I think it was more like an oral book report with, we're going to see your eye contact and, you know, all those things. So I don't even know that can prepare you, because when you put this together, you're actually putting together a sales pitch with it as well. Is that correct?
It's true, because when you're speaking and you have the intention of selling books, you are during your talk, everything you're doing is leading to those book sales. So even something as simple as when they have a book in their hand and they want to highlight something in the book, hold the book towards your face, because that's going to draw people's attention up, and it's also going to help them connect with you with the book. And so sometimes people hold the books down, hold it up towards your face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for people like me, I usually have it on a slide. I don't even hold it up. So, you know, it's there are a lot of different ways to do it. I love what you just said though, because then it directly reflects you and the book with it. So, we know how you got into this. What made you go out and say, okay, I'm doing this sales pitch? Was that part of what you were doing for the company? Were you selling their services at the same time?
Great question. I went from being a social worker to a job with a nonprofit, and I was focused on charitable gifts and annuities. The most boring subject in the entire world. Entire world. And so for me, there's a fun part of my personality, and I opened up like a creativity that I didn't even realize I had. So I was like, how can I make this interesting? And at the time, this was many years ago, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was a very popular show, very popular. So I made it into Who Wants to Be a Chocolate-aire. So I would be teaching them, they'd respond, they would win chocolate. And so when they're all excited and they're talking about this presentation and how great this organization is, so I was selling them on the concepts, but making it fun at the same time.
Okay. And for me, anything with chocolate, I'm all in, even if I have to buy it. This sounds like I had to invest to get it. I don't know.
No, all she had to do was answer the questions. But the goal was for them to donate more to the organization. And charitable gifts annuities are like just talking about annuities. It's not a very exciting topic. You know, you have the organization that they're supporting, but you also have a very boring financial part of the conversation. So I just made it fun. And board members came to me and said, you need to teach everyone to present like you present. And so I was like, this is really interesting.
Wow. So you actually are kind of like me, where I started in 2010 and digital marketing wasn't a thing. So we had a very strong learning curve that went with all of this. So you not only teach people how to put the presentation together, but you also teach them how to get booked, right?
Correct.
So
yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think that's what people find really difficult.
So there's two aspects I think they find really difficult, which is the putting their talk together, because they have so much information to share. They don't know, like, I've got all these things I want to talk about. Do I share this with my book? Do I share that? That's one aspect of it, is having a really solid signature talk. Then the booking side, it is complicated in the essence of, you know, how do I find those gigs? But once I find them, what am I saying to them? And what if they actually want to pay me to speak? So what do I do about that? So there's all those little nuances. And one of the things I'll share a tip around, if they do have a paid opportunity and somebody says to them, how much do you charge? I want you to go ahead and bring it back to them and say, well, may I ask what your budget is? Because you might say it's $1,000, but their budget might be $5,000. You just lost $4,000.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And I know we have a couple authors who actually have very niche books. And when they negotiate, they will negotiate that the company has to buy a quantity of books as well. So I know in the Silicon Valley, one of our guys who's a cybersecurity expert, they have to buy 100 books as part of the speaking gig. So there's that other financial piece as well of getting your book out. And and not just being paid for the talk, but being paid for the book as well.
Right. And they can even include the book. So they might have a talk that a price point that only includes the talk, and the second level might include the book, might include the talk and autographed copies of the book, a certain number. So they can actually increase the number of the second presentation, the second level, and make more money, and not even, because they only have so much cost of the book. So now they can maybe add another 1,000 or 2,000 or even more to that second level of their presentations.
Exactly. So when you teach people how to book, let's say that you're teaching how to book and they have a book, do you teach them how to incorporate that into that talk and into that booking process?
It has to be included in it, in the sense of, because it's a big part of them, and being an author creates incredible credibility. Because how many people actually write a book? There's more people nowadays that do it, but there's still such a small number of them. And so now you're setting yourself apart from the other speakers. So you want to include it inside your talk, but you also want to include it in your marketing. So if you're an author, a best-selling author, whatever level it is, you've written a book.
Right.
And so right there, it says you're an expert.
That is so true. And I know with us, a lot of the programs that we put together, or a lot of the, when we put a book together and someone's working with us on their author traffic school piece, we actually ask them to not only design a speaker sheet, but design a book one sheet as well. So people know they have the book, they know it's available, where to buy it, and things like that. So I think that's really important too, is, that lets them know you have a book, and that you you speak on a variety of topics. So let's get around to the marketing piece on this, because let's say that I've booked myself an event. Do you encourage your students to look at the marketing materials for the event? Are a lot of times they expected to promote the event alongside of the people who are hosting? And so they need an audience for that. How do you get them through that piece of it?
Getting the audience part of it?
Well, just understanding that it's not all about them and the speaking. It's about they're out there and they have to promote the event as well. Because I think a lot of people think, oh, they invited me to speak and I don't need to do anything but show up.
Oh, no. You are so right. You do not want to have that idea that, oh, I just need to show up. I don't want to do any effort. So if it's an open event, you absolutely want to promote it. Get as many people as you can. So I've spoken at events and people said, the audience doubled since our last speaker. You know why? Because AmondaRose promoted it too. And so if you can get more people in that room, and obviously they're monitoring as far as how many tickets and how much space they have, you have more book sales. If you are using your book as a platform also to sell your coaching, then you have more opportunities for coaching clients if you help fill that room as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, you're building your audience as well. It's not just about, getting people to, lead capture from their audience. Now they're lead capturing from yours, and more than likely you'll be asked back.
That's right.
If you're someone who can generate more business and audience for the speaker as well. I know there's a group out there called Clarity and Confidence, where they do that really well. If you're a speaker, you have to sell 25 tickets to the event. And so, they have a pretty big list now, because they put on this event every 3 months. So it's pretty incredible. Yeah.
I love it. Also too, if you're promoting it, you're now getting the place that you're speaking at, that you are a speaker in front of more people. So let's just say you put it on social. You're saying you're speaking here and the tickets are available. Now Sue Thomas reads it and thinks, oh, we were looking for a speaker for our next event. Right? So you now open the door for more opportunities as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've gotten several, especially when you're part of those big events, you meet new people, and I was just in one where, I was invited because they saw me speak someplace else. So that it's always the possibility, and why you should network at the event too. We used to have a client who would just fly in and fly out for paid speaking gigs. And we put a quiz together and invited her. They invited the people to take the quiz in advance, and then she stayed and met with the high commitment people. And she admitted, like, she got a lot of business from it. In the past, she just, was the keynote, and she flew in and she flew out like a prima donna. So it really pays to get out there and network at the event too. And, you might find some really great power partners as part of that as well.
Absolutely. And you can even include that in your proposal, right? That you'll attend the networking event. Now you've gotten paid for that time as well, so it can be a win-win for you all the way around.
Yeah, especially, and those lunches they have at some of those events, participate in that as well. I know that I've gotten a lot of really good clients. It's all about that canoodling with them and building trust and spending time and actually talking to people. When it comes down to them choosing, who their publisher is or who their speaking coach is, it's like, oh, AmondaRose took the time to sit down and talk to me about some of these topics. So in January, which this will be out in December. So in January, you are our first training of the year. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be training at our first live event of the year?
Yes, it's called Speaking for Impact and Income. So we're going to look at aspects of your speaking. So we're going to take a deep dive into having a captivating stage presence. Also doing irresistible offers, meaning that when you make an offer at the end, what's something that you can do that will actually secure you better results. And so we talk about messaging. So as many times people, they want to share something, but they don't know how to share it in a way that gets their audience to go, oh my gosh, I need to be here today.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really exciting, because for a lot of authors, and I notice this, you guys, because I work with you, your messaging is all over the place. I actually joke about I'm the message broker in the book, because I work with the press release people, I work with all the vendors that are part of it, because otherwise, if I let you guys go on your own, it's the shiny object of the day. And all the messaging has to be in alignment. So I'm excited that you're going to talk about that, because that messaging has to be in alignment with your book that you're talking about. You can't just randomly give away a lead magnet that doesn't apply to the book, that doesn't apply to the talk, that doesn't apply to the sales that you're going to generate at the end. So I'm really excited to have you on. And all of you who are not subscribed to the magazine, go over and get your free subscription. And if you're interested in all of this, AmondaRose is going to be a contributor in 2024, so you'll have something on speaking every single month. I don't know how you come up with all these topics on speaking.
Like an audience will think, oh my gosh, I learned so much from her 45-minute talk, right? But they don't realize there's 18 years of experience in this head. There's so much I could share with all of you.
Yeah, I know. And sometimes it's hard to cut it down into that 40 minutes, just like it's hard to cut it down into that 200 pages when people are writing a book. They want to go on and on. So AmondaRose, do you have anything, where can we find you? Do you have anything you'd like to share, a download or anything that people can go over and grab and get on your list?
Sure. So if you go to AmondaRose.com, that's AMO, it's going to get auto-corrected. It's going to say, do you want AmondaRose? No, it is AmondaRose, AmondaRose.com. So you can go to my website, check me out, but also you can access my speaker personality quiz.
Oh,
so you can discover what type of speaker you are. It's really, really cool. And I think some people are like, oh, I knew that's what I was. And some people are like, oh, I didn't even know. It really makes me feel more confident as a speaker, knowing I have that speaker personality.
Oh, very good. And once again, that's AmondaRose. Did I spell it wrong?
You did. I think you said DRA. So it's like Amanda with the O in the middle. That's what I say to people. So it's AMONDA. So Apple, Mary, Olive, Nancy, David, Apple, and then Rose, ROSE.
There you go. We have all the fruits going now. Well, thank you so much for being on today. And you guys, can't wait to see you at the beginning of January when she gives her first training.
Bye, everybody.